Thank you everybody for coming. This is the 6th annual Southwest Ohio GiveCamp. There you go. Just so we know, so everyone here get an idea of what's going on, how many, everyone stand up if didn't do any GiveCamp at all before? Matt asked us to do this like the wedding dance. So anyone who's been to 2 GiveCamps remain standing. You only been to one, sit down. Just one. How about 3? 4? About all 5 previous GiveCamps. I know John. No. So as I said, this is the 6th year we've done this. We've changed things around a little bit. We started a new chapter, so to speak. We now have a new nonprofit that we do run everything through. We're now a program underneath Pay It Forward because it made it easier for us. For you guys, nothing changed. It makes it easier for us, for organizers, just to recognize, some of the representatives will be there later this weekend to recognize Pay It Forward for helping us out and being our nonprofit sponsor for this. We also reorganized and created more of a formal board of directors to make major decisions and things like that because all of us were getting busy and we had to have more decisions. So along with that, we had to get more organizers to help us because several people had moved and gotten busy and that sort of thing. So these are the organizers. So some of them are standing here. Matt Brewer, raise your hand, wave. Scott Cook, I haven't seen yet. Ryan Cromwell, raise your hand, wave. Peggy is running out around. Peggy, oh, she's sitting there. Okay, you already did slip in. Alan May is sitting down there. He helped us out throughout the year. Jessica, I don't think is here. Is she? Jessica's not here. Angie, are you in here or are you out somewhere else?
She's probably getting food.
I think Angie's getting food for a little while. Jason Dobie. I'm Eric Swartz. And Mike's right there. So we're the ones that help organize it throughout the year, but as you'll find out throughout the weekend, the ones that really make this work are the team leads. They're the important people of this project and how they do make the weekend work. So we'll introduce them as we go. Some of the sponsors, that's the other question we always get. How do you do this? How can you get money? How do you get nice facility and everything else? We get sponsors to do it. That's why it's all free. You guys donate your time, we feed you and give you a place to do the work. So we have 3 levels of sponsorship. Engage is the main sponsor at the gold level. Then we have 5 silver level sponsors, which is $500, between $500 and $1,000. So Blue Down Hamilton, Sparkbox, Nickel, Vaco, who had a table out there, and Cardinal. And then we also have bronze sponsors, which is $100 or more, between $100 and $500. So First Financial Bank, Fusion Alliance, Burke, Gaslight. And then we had this year for the first time we had 3 personal donations as well from people. So some of those people were in this room. I didn't know if you wanted to name mention or not, but just thank you for the ones that did it. So I didn't want to say one out. We also have in-kind donations to help out with the projects. GitHub donates hosting, or donates source control, and Everleaf is the big one. They donate hosting for many of the solutions. A lot of the teams are going to be utilizing that, and that's a big help and a big saving for many of the organizations. So now we gotta go through some logistics and rules in a minute. I forgot Miami, the most important one. Miami gives us a really good discount on this facility to use it for the weekend. And when we started this 5 years ago, this is the 6th one, so this is the 6th year. We did a lot of research trying to find a place, and we all came here and it's like, we're not going anywhere else. They got all the classrooms, they have really good Wi-Fi, they gave us a really good discount, and they continue us a really good discount. Somebody that came early, Rod Nimps is the director. He was sitting out in the chair out there. He'll be back tomorrow. So if you see anyone from Miami staff, make sure you thank them as well. Contact information. This is just general contact. Twitter hashtag if you want to do that. We also set up a Slack group for any of the developers that are familiar with that. You can directly get added to it through that link there. Administrative note is the doors will lock at 8 o'clock tonight, even though we're open all night. It's locked for security reasons. There's a phone number on the door, so take your phone with you if you're leaving, or take your badge with you, because if you leave, they'll ask for to see your badge, and you can call the security guard and see it, let them open the door. Schedule for the weekend. Registration, we're already past that. We're at opening ceremonies. We hope to keep opening ceremonies to within an hour. We're also doing team selection right immediately after opening ceremonies.
I think you got the wrong dates on that.
You're correct, that's last year's dates, I'm sorry. It is today, the 16th, not.
It's still Friday and Saturday.
It's still Friday, Saturday, Sunday, don't worry about that. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock is breakfast. Noon we'll have a group picture when everyone's together. Immediately after group picture there's lunch. For those of you that have kids of relative school age, I'm not sure what age it is. Matt, do you know what age usually they do the kids code camp?
8 to 12.
All right, 8 to 12 or so.
6.
At 1 o'clock, we're going to have kids code camp. We've always tried to make GiveCamp kind of family friendly as much as possible. It's good for the kids to come out and see what you do, sort of thing. We have a little hour-long training session with the code.org system that helps kids learn basics of programming, sort of thing. Immediately after that, we'll have kids cookie decorating. It's for kids of all ages. Little kids can come and decorate cookies, and they'll eat some, and they always share some with the other people working on the projects and that sort of thing. So it's a good way to get them to come out and see what you're doing this weekend. See where mom and dad is at. Dinner will be at 6. We usually have snacks out all the time, but sometimes we have other snacks around 9. And the doors will close at midnight, and there won't be anyone here after midnight, because we found in the past that by that point everybody's tired, wants to go home and sleep a good night's sleep. Sunday morning, we'll open up again at 7 o'clock in the morning. Engage, we'll be cooking a hot breakfast around 8 o'clock Sunday morning, so there's usually pancakes and other stuff for breakfast. I have a note on here AM for nonprofit training. That means sometime Sunday, make sure your nonprofit gets training, preferably in the AM. But we found that projects succeed only if the nonprofits get training. So this is just to everyone remember, and we'll remind you multiple times, make sure you train your nonprofits. Lunch will be around noon, and we'll have closing ceremonies back in here at 3. So opening ceremonies is a chance for the nonprofits to introduce themselves, introduce the projects. Closing ceremonies is a chance for the teams to show off what they did over the weekend. So you can see what everyone else accomplished and that sort of thing. Closing ceremonies runs a little longer. It's usually an hour, hour and 15 minutes, but we try to keep it as short as possible because everyone's tired and is ready to go done usually by that point. Rules. Miami is a smoke-free campus. That means the whole campus. And it also says e-cigarettes are included. So you can't use e-cigarettes either on campus. So we ask, if you want to smoke, you have to go somewhere off of Miami University property. This is their rules in order for us to be able to use the facility. And I already mentioned about the building access being limited. A reminder, bring your phone so you can call, or a lot of times security guards sit in the office. You can knock on the window as well. And we have cleaning people come in throughout the weekend, but please clean up around yourself as much as possible. Just be courteous because they're giving us a good deal and good rate from this weekend, and we like to keep Miami happy, so we continue to get that. So the main part of this is nonprofit introductions. Everyone here, except for the team leads, is not on a team yet. So we're asking everyone to pay attention to your nonprofit introductions. We're going to bring the nonprofit representative up. They will talk about the mission of their organization, give a general overview of the project, and then the tech lead will be able to tell you what the actual technologies are being used so you can help select and choose what kind of projects you want to be on. First few years we started assigning people to projects. We found people like this better because they can choose what they work on for 3 days. The only drawback is sometimes you have to find technology and stuff, but this seems to make people more happy. First nonprofit is Generation Dayton. Let me get my list. Mary, I forgot to say how to pronounce his name. Mary Mujewski. I don't know. Is that close?
No.
All right. And Alex Argo, I can do that one.
It's Mejieski.
Okay.
No one ever gets it right.
It's
That's
like
why I just say Mary.
It's like Krzyzewski.
But first off, I just want to say thank you to GiveCamp and Alex and actually everyone in this room for taking a weekend and giving back to your community. I know Generation Dayton really appreciates it. So a little bit more about us. We're the premier young professionals organization for the Dayton area, meaning we try to engage and retain young professionals to really build up the community and get them involved and out. So we do that through a variety of events, through social business networking. We do every month a Thirsty Thursday. so that's always fun. But then we also do networking up, so we have events with local businesses and CEOs. And then we have volunteer opportunities, so we work with other nonprofits in the area, and we really try and plug in a young professional differently into the community, so you have a wide range. But all of that really doesn't mean a lot without a story behind it. So just briefly, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I graduated from the University of Dayton in 2014, and like most college grads, I didn't have a job, and I ended up in a field that I didn't study. So I was really struggling with the fact of staying in Dayton, and what am I going to do with my life? But that's where Generation Dayton stepped in. So I got extremely involved in Generation Dayton, and I'm now the marketing chair. And it really helped me get plugged in. I made all of my friends through Generation Dayton. I got my job through Generation Dayton. And it's really propelled me and wanted me to stay in Dayton too. So that's a little bit about us.
And I guess the technologies, we're kind of building an event-focused app for Generation Dayton, so you can like find events and all that good stuff, RSVP for them. And the goal is to do a native iOS and Android app, so we need iOS and Android developers. Hopefully we should be good. In the last couple of years, that hasn't been a problem. And then we may need some like part-time from a designer for like the icon, and we have also like a little loyalty card screen that we want to do. So probably not like full-time from a designer, but we need a little bit of help there. Where I think we're planning on Swift for iOS and then Java for Android. I think that's about it.
Thank you. So next up, we have Miami Valley Down Syndrome Association. And the lead for that is Chase Cathcart. And the nonprofit representative is Jenna Sykes.
Well, as the previous person said, thank you so much for dedicating your weekend to all these projects. We are so excited to be one of those selected. The Miami Valley Down Syndrome Association is located in Dayton, Ohio. We serve about 11 counties in southwestern Ohio. And as our name implies, we work with the Down syndrome community. And so what's really important to us is trying to build awareness and acceptance for people with Down syndrome. You know, we're all pretty scared of things that we don't understand. And so we really want to get out there and tell everyone what Down syndrome is about, because honestly, most of what you probably know or what you think of when you hear Down syndrome is not completely accurate. So our project here is updating our website, doing a whole redesign where we can engage different facets of our audience and talk to parents who just received a diagnosis and are, you know, incredibly scared and confused and don't know where to turn. But also then we want to engage parents of older individuals with Down syndrome and how they move on in life and everything like that. So we're really excited to be here, and I'll hand it over to Chase.
As Jenna mentioned, it's a good old-fashioned website redesign. We'll be taking it from a hosted content management system that's costing them like $2,000 a year down to this is a simple Drupal CMS installation. Drupal is a PHP-based framework, but don't feel like you have to know a whole lot of coding, because a lot of Drupal is spent working in the UI, so if you're kind of structurally minded, you know, it works pretty well. Probably the most interesting thing that we're doing, besides just moving content over, is building an events calendar with perhaps some registration functionality.
So next up, we have the Wesley Community Center. The representative for that is Yvette Kelly Fields, and the team lead is, I should have this name too, Marco Coistillo. Okay, we'll skip her and come back then. Then up is the Hearing, Speech, and Deaf Center of Cincinnati. The representative for that is Megan Elliker, and Josh Rose is the team lead.
So thank you again to all our volunteers and our sponsors. The Hearing, Speech, and Deaf Center is very excited. We're celebrating our 90th year this year, so it's great to get a nice gift, and that we're going to get a new website. Our mission is to strengthen the community through advocacy and help individuals and families overcome obstacles to communication. And we do that in our 3 different areas. So audiology, we do a lot of hearing tests, hearing aids, assistive listening devices like an amplified telephone or a doorbell that flashes for people. Then on our speech side, we do speech therapy and occupational therapy, and that's mostly for children because of early intervention is really key to get them ready for school at 6. And then on our services for the deaf, we do American Sign Language interpreting. So that would be if you are deaf in a school and you need a sign language interpreter, or you go to like a medical appointment or a job interview. And then we also do advocacy services because a lot of individuals in the deaf community can be marginalized. So because we deal with a population that has barriers to communication, it's really important for us to have a well-functioning website, which we don't have. We have the worst CMS we've ever had, and it's awful. So we were thrilled to be selected this year, and we're looking forward to getting a new website that connects with our community and that we can use to reach out and connect to them.
So we're doing WordPress. So if you know WordPress or PHP, reach out. And this organization does great things for the community. So it's a great cause, great people, and come WordPress with us.
So next up we have Wise Educational Services. The representative for that is Carmelia Osley, and the lead is Trey Howard.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carmelia Osley, and actually I'm a Miami University alum. Wise Educational Services Corp. was my brainchild. I founded this organization 3 years ago, and our primary mission is to empower children and their families with educational, interpersonal, and communication skills. Our first program launch was Wishes Tutoring, in which we have grown 4 times our size in the past year. So we've gone from 15 program participants and 25 tutoring sessions to 57 program participants as of today, and over 100 tutoring sessions per week. So our goal here is to make our website more user-friendly. I have done a survey with my program participants and their parents and found out exactly what they want to see on the site, and I've communicated that with Trey. I'm about the most entertaining person you'll probably ever meet, so details are not an issue, people. I've got them all. All right? So we welcome you, and again, thank you for this opportunity. When you see my site, they don't put the logo up, thank goodness. Because when you see my site, it is it's pitiful. I did the best I could. It took me 6 months. It was pretty bad. And thank you so much.
Yeah, so we'll be doing a website redesign, moving her from GoDaddy hosting over to WordPress. There's a paid theme which will do most of the layout for us, but we do still need some help from a designer for laying out images, icons, things like that. Other than that, just in one WordPress experience. I don't think we'll have a lot of PHP development because it's a paid theme, but also probably unique is e-commerce. We did purchase a theme with e-commerce integration, so anyone with e-com WordPress experience, we greatly appreciate it.
I believe Layla's not back yet, is she? Okay.
We have someone here.
All right. Never mind. So next up is Parents and Partners. I'm not sure who's coming because Layla left. Jason Roby is the tech lead.
I am Yvonne Vidal, and I am here representing Parents to Partners. This is an organization that is dedicated to helping a relatively small amount of youth that we don't really quite hear much about. It's people in the foster care system. Some of these guys move or have to move 24 times within the school year, or they would have to just move from state to state because they can't stay where they are because of, not being assigned to that place, or maybe the foster parent they have at the time, it's just not capable of handling the amount of children that we have right now in our system. So Parents to Partners is dedicated to helping these young people have structure, know how to, fill out an application, we sit with them and try to have them be clear on what goals they would have in their future with their education. And these are things that nobody would sit with them. Nobody sits with them to do homeschooling or any kind of help with their education, really ever, because they would have a home with 14, 15 children, and there's no attention to any specific children. So Parents to Partners has been working a lot with the foster care children to just help them know that there is organizations like this one out there. And pretty much what we were trying to get done in the website is have a blog that would help them, log in and stay in contact with many of the teachers and other students and friends that they have in different states that they may be coming from, or if they need to have a teacher or any kind of information from the organization itself, they can just go in the blog and they can communicate with each other, and different children that can get to know each other, have gotten to know each other in the foster care system. So.
Yeah, talk a little. This is going to be we've got a number of different things going on with this project, so I'll talk about that in a minute, but one of the bigger things we're going to focus on as project-wise is we're going to work on building an app that's going to help agencies try to locate schools that are close to the foster children. So let me back up a little bit. The way this works, when they need to find a new place for them to live, you want to kind of reduce the amount of friction and change that's going to be introduced to them. So this app's going to help agencies go in and try to find another foster care home within that same school district. And that's what we're going to focus on first. There's also a website piece of this. We might get to do some website work with some WordPress. But the main focus we're going to work on right away is a prototype so that they can take this out, show it to agencies, get them to get behind this, and help them to better serve the foster kids that are having to move through this. So the technologies we're going to be working on for that, ASP.NET, C# as kind of our flavor that we're going to be using. We'll probably need some front-end work too, looking at probably flirting with some AngularJS if you want to do some of that. But we'll do some on the front end. But we're going to have a lot of fun. We want this is going to be a prototype app. We want this to be to look good, so we're going to need maybe a user experience person. If you've got some experience with that, we love that. Possibly a designer. We're going to need a logo for this app. So we want to have a lot of fun kind of prototyping this out, give the charity something that they can go out and show how this can be helpful, so those agencies can actually help minimize the change that these kids, children have to go through to change. So anyway, that's a little bit what we're going to be doing.
So next up is Edison's Music Makers. Their representative is Charlotte Pack, and Tim Lewis is their teammate.
Hi everyone. My husband Rodney and I are really excited to be here. We are starting the Edison Music Makers Museum. It's a new organization. We plan to open in the spring of 2016, and our mission is to preserve music technologies and voices from the past. And a little disclaimer, we were going to use the word Edison, but we were at the Smithsonian over a month ago, and we were talking to a curator there, and she said, when you say Edison, you think that it's only about Thomas Edison. But our mission in our museum actually starts with Thomas Edison and the invention of the crank phonograph, the first actually machine to record the human voice. But then it goes from that to 78 records, to vinyl records. We've got a 1946 jukebox, wire recorders. That's not something very many people have seen. They actually recorded at one point on wire that is as thin as a piece of hair. Then we also have cassette tapes, 8-track tapes. So we have a lot of various technology that has developed. And it started with Thomas Edison, but we bring it up to the modern day iPod. And the reason that we are developing this museum is we used to travel with it, and it got kind of large. And then we were with a school group, and we had 200 kids in, 2nd through 4th graders, and we'd hold up different technology pieces, and their knowledge went far back as a cassette tape, and that was it. And only half of them knew what a cassette tape was. And that's when we really became convicted that we wanted to do something on a broader scale so that more children could have access and see these kind of technologies. Because a lot of these technologies people have never seen, except maybe on an old movie or something like that. So we are really excited to be here. Our project is a brand new website because we're a new organization. We've been working with a small business counselor, and she said you really need to be online 6 months to a year before you open. And so we're looking at next spring, and we're wanting to create that web presence. We're looking, because we are an auditory museum, things related to sound, we really need to have, something Tim will talk more about this, but we just want a very engaging, interactive website to draw the young people in. Keep raising your hands.
Where is it going to be located?
It is in Highland County, which is about an hour and a half from here towards Chillicothe. We are centrally located between Chillicothe, Dayton, and Columbus. We're about an hour and a half each direction. But part of what's really important to us with the website is having virtual exhibits as well, because we know that we want to share that technology with as many people as possible. Thank you for asking. That was a good point.
So as Charlotte said, our main goal is going to be to build a really fun, interactive website that's going to allow, you said, ages from probably 2 to our age to kind of want to come visit, want to see all the different pieces they're going to put up. And the other kind of fun things we're going to try to get done is we wanted to do the ability to do audio clips so they can hear the different pieces they're going to have and kind of how they sound. And then we'd also like to do virtual tours. So, so we're going to be doing WordPress and PHP. Kind of already looked at some plugins that maybe will help us do the audio and virtual tours. So if anyone's looking to, I also need a designer and probably a good portion because Charlotte's got some logos. I believe they got a new design. They need a little bit of help designing kind of their logo. And then there may be a little bit of CSS work to get the colors they want on the website. So I look forward to you guys helping out.
Next up is Vivian's Victory. The representative from that is Maria Dunlap, and Jack Wooten is the team lead.
Like many other people, I just cannot express my gratitude that you all are doing this weekend. And it is such an honor not just to be here with so many intelligent individuals, but also to be among so many worthy causes. It's been really enlightening to listen already to all the people that are here. And I don't know how you're going to make your decision about who you're helping because there's so many awesome causes here. My name is Maria Dunlap. I am the founder and executive director of Vivian's Victory. Vivian's Victory is a baby nonprofit. We have only been working for a year as a nonprofit. We serve families that have a poor prenatal prognosis or have a child with a prolonged illness. We assist these families in practical ways during their hospital stay and as they transition home. We believe that no child should ever be in the position to fight alone, and no parent should ever be in the position to choose between supporting their child and their daily life. My husband and I started Vivian's Victory after our daughter Vivian died in 2012. She was prenatally diagnosed with a heart defect, and we were so blessed to have such an amazing support system, and during our 59-day stay in the hospital, that we were able to really see the families around us who are really struggling. We listened to babies cry by themselves for days on end. We listened to parents lament about how they were afraid to take their children home because they weren't sure how they were going to pay for the prescriptions or pay for the gas cards for their follow-up visits. There was a little boy a few rooms down from us who died without his dad there because his FMLA was up and he had 3 other children at home and he couldn't be there with his son and support his family. And so we knew that when Vivian died, we needed to do something to help these families and to assist these families and to share the love and the hope that Vivian brought into our lives and into so many people's lives. So our website, we don't have any paid individuals that work in our organization. We're all volunteer based. It is my heart and soul, but I am the least techie person ever. Our website needs a whole facelift. This actually isn't even our current logo, but this is the one that's on our website. So it's very, it needs a lot of TLC, so I'm really excited to be here tonight and this weekend to just kind of leave with a fresh new look. We have, as I said, only been working as a nonprofit since August of 2014. We've already assisted over 100 families and giving gifts of over $100,000. And so we're filling a need that's there, and we need our website to be attractive and engaging for the families that do come and learn more about it, for individuals who are giving donations, for our sponsors to be able to receive the recognition that they deserve for assisting us and continuing our mission.
Hi, I'm Jack Wooten. Interestingly enough, I just got assigned, right? Got assigned. Probably the people who assigned it didn't realize that I had a child that was in the Children's Hospital on average every other day for a full year. So I have a direct connection to the need for what this nonprofit is trying to do, and it was completely coincidental. Good job. So I have a passion for it. The reality is this is just going to be a website refresh. It's going to be WordPress, PHP. There's not any technical difficulties with the website. It's going to be pretty straightforward. But here's what I can tell you. We're going to spend some time walking through the experience of parents who are going through this and try to really understand how can we take what in essence is just a website and do it in a way that really does connect and communicate what is necessary, because I'm not sure that it's easy for people to put themselves in the shoes of the parents going through this, because honestly, you're just trying to make it. You're just trying to get by, and you're looking for anything to reach out and to help. There's a whole financial aspect, emotional aspect, and all that stuff. So if you're interested in really diving in and getting into the personas of the people who are going to be coming to the website, what their needs are, how can we do that in a different way? And there probably is some opportunity for innovation, some things that even Maria can't dream of, that we can bring to the table and say, what if we did it this way? And see if we can pull that off in the time that we have. So if you're interested, again, come and join us.
Next up is Closed at Work. Alan Garrison's the lead, Bill Perry is the representative.
Well, once again, I want to say thank you to everyone for being here. It really means a lot to see this many people in this room who are willing to give their time, give their talent, to help out so many just new and innovative nonprofit organizations. So, my name is Bill Perry. I'm the Marketing Communications Manager for Close at Work. We are a small but mighty nonprofit located in Dayton, Ohio, with the goal of helping under-resourced, unemployed, and underemployed job seekers provide them with interview-appropriate clothing, counseling, and confidence-building image services. We were founded in 1998 by a group of community-minded women who saw some real changes coming as a result of welfare reform and saw a need that was going to be affecting many people in our community. That very first year, our first clothing drive, we collected 1,200 items and we provided outfits to 250 clients. Fast forwarding much further, last year we actually collected 145,000 items, and we have collectively now served 25,000 clients in the Dayton region, helping them secure and achieve jobs. And right now we do more than provide just clothing. We actually provide education and training opportunities to help people not only get a job, but learn what skills they need when they get there to maintain that job and hopefully even grow and expand. I think we really are one of Dayton's best kept secrets. It's great seeing the looks on people's faces when they have not just an outfit, but an award-winning outfit. They've had that experience with one of our volunteer coaches who can walk with them, find out what their needs are, find out what their aspirations are, and really help them feel great and feel prepared to go get that job. It's great that we've expanded. We've expanded our footprint, we've expanded our size, we've expanded the number of people we've served, but we haven't necessarily expanded on the technical end when it comes to tracking that information, learning more about who it is we're serving, what we can do to further refine the process and really report out to our donors, our supporters as well, so that they know what impact we're having, and we can really prepare for our long-term growth so we can keep serving additional clients and help additional people get the jobs that they really need and that they really want.
All right, my name is Alan Garrison. I'm the team lead for this project. Basically what we're doing is a straightforward web application, so looking for programmers. Basically speaking, we've got 3 different things we're going to focus on. First off is just the web application itself. We're going to do PHP. Beyond that, haven't really decided on the framework or anything, so certainly open to any suggestions. I'm kind of leaning towards Fuel PHP, but I just learned about that last week, so I can't say I'm really familiar with it. Second off, need some database people. We need to design some, basically the schema, because we're going to be importing some data from Microsoft Access and possibly some Excel spreadsheets, that kind of stuff. So we need the back end for the web application. And third, we need some data import scripts written. The import scripts don't really care what languages are written in, so if you're not a PHP person but want to help out with this project, we can use your help with that. So, thank you.
Next up is Bridget's Path. The representative from Bridget's Path is Deanna Murphy, and the team lead is David DeLello.
I just said I wish that I was wearing one of my clothes at work outfits from the boutique, because what they didn't mention is they also have a boutique for things that they can't use for their clients. They sell on a boutique, and half of my clothes have come from there because we're often down in that area. So I was really glad to see them here, and I'm unfortunately not wearing one of those things, but I kind of wish that I was now. Again, thanks for having us here. We're really grateful. We also are a fairly new organization. We've been around for only about 1.5 years, and Bridget's Path was started partly from my business partner, Jill. She and her family are a foster family in Montgomery County, and on the same day they got their foster license, they got a call from their social worker and said, "Come on down to the hospital, we have a baby for you today." And they went, "Wow, that was fast." They said, "Oh, by the way, the baby is 3 pounds, and he's been in the hospital for 8 days withdrawing from heroin exposure. And you don't have any training on how to do that, but he has to be out of the hospital because Medicaid stopped paying today, so he has to be out by midnight. Good luck." And so she brought that baby home and called me and said, "I have no birth clots or anything, all I have is a crib, can you help?" And so I rushed over. She just lives about a 1/4 mile from me, and I brought her some birth clots and stuff, and I watched her feed that baby, and he was so cute, and he drank his bottle, and it was wonderful. And then he started to vomit like all babies do, and vomit more. And for a 3-pound baby, I've never seen anything like it in my life. And then he aspirated and stopped breathing. And for the 2 of us, we each have 3 children, feel very comfortable with babies. But when a baby stops breathing, a 3-pound little guy stops breathing and turns blue, it's something like you've never seen. And so she rubbed him. I grabbed my phone to call 911. And then he started breathing again, and immediately she said, "Oh, this is like nothing I've ever seen before. This is a baby like I've never taken care of, and I don't know how to do this." She immediately went to the internet to research how to take care of a baby with neonatal abstinence syndrome. That's a diagnosis for babies that have been exposed to heroin in the womb. And a month later, they called with another baby, and so here she was with virtually twins withdrawing from heroin exposure. And she said, "Boy, there needs to be something to do about this." And after those babies went to their grandmothers, and she had a 3rd baby in her home, and that baby too went to her grandmother, she said to me, "We can do something about this." And so, with my background as the daughter of 2 addicts, we set forth to do something about it. So we're creating Ohio's first newborn recovery center, where babies will come to us from the NICU to recover from their heroin exposure, but we'll also provide non-judgmental support for the mothers, because 60% or more of these babies go home with their parents. And those mothers are not equipped to parent those babies because they're cast aside and stigmatized and judged by the society that they live in. And so our goal is to equip them with the tools that they need to parent those babies so they can successfully take care of those babies and get their lives back on track that they're so desperately trying to do, but no one's helping them do it. And so we've partnered with lots of organizations in the community, some of these, and those that are helping others in the community as well. And so our goal really is to give them the tools that they need to be successful and educate the community about the amazing and incredibly overwhelming opioid dependent problem we have in the community these days. Our community is so generous to us. We've gotten so many incredible donations. Just this weekend we had a diaper drive. We partnered with Kroger, and they gave us, the community and Kroger combined, over 17,000 diapers that we now have in storage because our building is under renovation. We're set to open next summer. But we don't have any way to track those diapers or any of the onesies or any of the any of the other incredible donations we have except tally sheets and Excel spreadsheets, and it gets really tedious and it's not really efficient or effective. So we'd look to, we're looking this weekend to create a database for that so we can be accountable to our donors, accountable to our constituents, and really make sure that we're doing the right thing. And so we're looking for your help with that, and we're so, so honored and grateful to be here this weekend. He knows all the other stuff that I don't even understand, so I'm going to let him tell you about that.
The technical speak is actually fairly simple. We're creating an inventory tracking system. As she said, they have a lot of stuff and it's sitting in a basement, and Excel sheets just don't cut it anymore. So we're going to do some .NET and Umbraco. They would also potentially eventually like to move their CMS from WordPress to something else. So Umbraco seems to lend itself to both CMS and apps. So any .NET developers who want to do that, you might need a designer for a little bit, but probably not. Maybe 2 to 3 people should be sufficient. No, database is pretty much done. So just some front-end data entry.
Next up is K-12 Gallery in Tejas. Elaine Bonner is the representative, and we have a dual team lead. Looks like Rebecca is going to be the speaker for this.
Thank you all for your incredible gift of time and expertise. As you can see, the nonprofits have so much passion, but we are lacking that technical component. And our goal is to get a database, as Bridget's Path also mentioned, to track the many programs that we offer in the community. I had to bring a note card because I can't keep up with all of them, but we've been in operation for 22 years. Tejas is Teen Educational Joint Adult Studio. It's an art center that inspires people of all ages to imagine, learn, and create in an encouraging environment. Started by a Dayton public school teacher who was in a really rough urban neighborhood. She saw how art really did change the lives of her students, and she wanted to give them an opportunity to have art more than once a week. So she started with a small storefront and now has moved to a 35,900 square foot center. It is incredible, and I get to see the joyful faces of these kids who come in every day and are creating art, and they have messy hands. But we are actually more than just a place for kids. We help juveniles that are on probation through a mentoring program where they get to use their artistic skills. They're convicting of tagging or property destruction. So we know they're creative kids, and we get to help them create large-scale murals in our community that help beautify the community and also give them that sense of community pride. We work with prisoners on Monday. They do all sorts of building jobs. We are going to get them started in a wood studio so they can learn employable skills. We work with women who are survivors of domestic violence in an art therapy program where they can really channel their emotions through art that sometimes they can't say through words. So we need help tracking all of these programs and donations, and we've grown incrementally over the last 2 years at a pace of like 20% a year. We now serve 25,000 people plus. That's an estimate because we look through papers and our filing is very paper intensive. So any way to get things streamlined so we can accurately report what we do would be such a blessing. Thank you.
Yeah, we're doing a database application, but we want to make it something that they can expand on because they don't have anything like this now. So something that's fairly easy for them to update and maintain in the future. So we're going to go ahead and do a WordPress site, but we need people who have knowledge of MySQL, PHP because it will be a heavier application, and also designers. This is, they deal in art, so this should be very pretty. Fun to use.
Keep talking.
Next up, we have Mommy Has Breast Cancer. Jocelyn Banks is a representative, and Christopher Gay is the team lead.
Has anybody not got one of our flyers yet? If you haven't, raise your hand. I'm going to run around and give them out.
Good evening, everyone. First, I want to thank you for coming here and for being here. This is one of the most exciting events I've ever been to, and I tend to think that our events are really exciting, but I think this is this is even more exciting. So let me tell you about Mommy is Breast Cancer. So Mommy is Breast Cancer, we're a charity that focuses on women who have the added task of taking care of a family while they're trying to go through cancer treatment. So just imagine, you're going through something very intensive, and you come home and then there's little faces that are staring at you going, so what's for dinner? And the smell of food is just enough to, make you want to, of course, puke after chemotherapy. What we do is we try to bring the family together in a time where normally everyone goes to their own corners, or sometimes in families, everyone goes to their own corners and tries to figure it out for themselves. One of the artifacts we send out is we send out these cute little books to the kids. This book is No More Hair, and it helps the kids understand why mom has no hair, no energy to play, why she can't cook or do other things. It also kind of looks at it from the perspective of a child. We send these books out and also in Spanish, and we have another book for another ethnic community. We also have like companion guides we send out for mom. We will send prepared meal delivery to the door, food that's easy for mom to pop in the oven and heat up so the kids don't have to starve and dad doesn't have to fend for himself. We'll pay for housekeeping, we'll pay for childcare, and we'll pay for transportation to make sure mom can get to and from those treatments that she needs to save her life. Now, one thing to point out is we are a volunteer-run organization. We're run by a bunch of really passionate survivors and caregivers. I'm one of those survivors. I'm actually a two-time breast cancer survivor. 13 years and 9 years each time. So in my early 20s, my journey began. And I had that little face looking up at me going, what's for dinner? And me not knowing what to do and feeling bad about having a dirty house that I didn't have the energy or the strength to clean. So this charity came about, myself and a bunch of other young women going through the same thing. We came together and we helped each other. We made little schedules and calendars, and we kind of in our little circle of 3 or 4, we helped each other. But we said, if we get organized, we come together, we can get sponsors, we can get donors, we can really make this a thing that helps impact the lives of families in the middle of tragedies. So we're volunteer run. The systems that we're building are going to help us more easily track what's going on, report how many people we've served, how many meals have gone out, help people get into our programs very easily. My dream is that we'd be sort of the Amazon of support systems for folks who are in the middle of such a battle. It'd be automated and our volunteers would find it easy to help us do what we do on a shoestring budget. So that's why you're so important. And I'm going to hand it over to my awesome tech lead. And the other thing to add in, I am a volunteer. In my real life or my day-to-day job, I'm a Java architect. So I've been writing J2EE software for 15 years. And I think this weekend I'm going to learn .NET. So Chris is converting us to .NET. We've got a little bit of WordPress, PHP going on. But I can certainly talk geek with you, and I'm going to get in and get my hands dirty this weekend.
Yes.
So our project is primarily going to be focusing on automating their entire process. They are spending a lot of time doing paperwork instead of helping the people that need the help. So we want to take the project and develop a new front end for them that points back to a Microsoft SQL database. We're going to use ASP.NET, C# 4.5, and Entity Framework. And we're going to streamline the whole thing so that when somebody comes to their site, registers, automated email gets generated, goes back to them, the process of where they're at in the process, they'll be able to come back and check on it. There's authorizations, there's many different steps to get it. Also, and Jocelyn can fill this in a little more, there's so many services they're allowed to have within a certain amount of time because they are a small charity. That they can't designate everything to one person, they're trying to help as many people so that at certain times they're allowed to have more and more services, and then we want to automate that process. Yep. So that's what we're planning on doing. Going to do it with .NET Nuke and full .NET C#. If you're interested in the project, let's go.
And we have swag too. We have swag.
Yeah. If you know the poster, that's why we have free t-shirts and other but not least, we have Wesley Community Center that has made it, and we'll bring Marku up as well.
First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who talked a long time. I'm like literally doing like Dukes of Hazzards, coming out like, I don't know if you heard me, and I'm flying down the hallway. But my name is Yvette Kelly Fields. I'm the Executive Director for Wesley Community Center. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to be here, that we were selected to be here. Like my friend here, Marku, we're going to have a good time this weekend. And another person will be joining me, Nikki Wilcox, tomorrow. But just kind of give you some information about the Wesley Community Center. Let me just tell you a story. So, Wesley Center was started in 1966 by the United Methodist Women. And let's say about 15 years later, late 70s, early 80s, a woman and her daughter come into the Wesley Center to receive assistance because the Wesley Center was established in West Dayton, Ohio, which is a part of Montgomery County, for the purposes of assisting families in crisis and in need. And they had services that dealt with work, health and wellness, and that also dealt with education, the same work we do today. But it had a food pantry there. And this mother had been laid off from her job, and she brought her daughter with her to go to the food pantry because I don't know if you've ever experienced having more than money. So you needed some more money, so instead of buying groceries, use that for something else, come to the pantry to get your food needs met. In addition, the young girl decided to get involved in all the leadership programs there. They had Girl Scouts. She was able to gain her footing in some leadership opportunities. One of her first speaking engagements was as a Girl Scout, and from there she grew up through the Girl Scout ranks, and because she was brilliant, she went on to college and got her master's degree. Fast forward to 2014, she gets a call saying, Wesley Center is looking for an executive director. Would you be willing to come and serve in that role? And my thought was, Wesley Center was there for me back in 1980 when my mom needed help. It's my opportunity to make sure that Wesley Center is there for the next Yvette in that neighborhood. I want to say to anybody who comes to help us work on this project, we are still serving families in that neighborhood. Those families are still in need of jobs. They're still in need of good health. They're still in need of good things that can help them be better in education. And that as you stand with he and I to make this project happen, because we need to update our website, and we want to be able to engage more people in the work, that as we stand here together to do this work, he and I, that anyone who stands with us, we're not standing here just on carpet, but we're standing on a 50-year legacy of volunteerism and community support that makes it magical and possible to help every young person and every family that lives in West Dayton. So that's my reason for being here, and that's why I'm so thankful for this opportunity. You need to say anything else? Okay, so I'm gonna pass it off.
So this project seems to be similar to some of the other projects. It's a complete new overhaul of their current website, a redesign of their website, and it's going to migrate to WordPress. So an experience with that is great. We need some great web designers, web developers, UI, UX developers to be able to find some great designs, some innovative work to create a new website that can convey their message and their mission to all the donors and clients that they try to get to connect with them. And so, anyone who wants to help us? Thank you.
Walk on water afterwards.
Thank you.
So some logistics, and I'll bring this map back up after you guys pick your teams, but most of the projects are over there on that side. We have 3 classrooms over there, as well as the organizers have a command center and a little conference room over there for where you need help at. There are 2 classrooms on the end, have Hearing, Speech, and Deaf Center, Vivian's Victory, Wesley Community Center, Wide's Educational Services. The one on the right from the end has Clothes at Work, Bridget's Path, Parents to Partners, and K-12 Gallery. Tejas is a smaller classroom, that's this direction on the left. That's the Miami Valley Down Syndrome Association and Edison's Music Makers. And Generation Dayton and Mommy Has Breast Cancer has to be on the complete opposite end of the hall because they have some classes in the other classrooms tomorrow morning. So we usually try to keep closer together, but this year we had to have them be all the way on the other end of the hall. You're not forgotten, you're just on the other end of the hall. Some logistics. We're going to have a stand-up meeting roughly every 2 hours and start approximately 8:30 with all the team leads. We'll go in and remind you because you're going to get busy and forget, so we'll come in and get you. We bring all the team leads together into the command center, and we find out where people's problems and issues are, who needs more people, shuffle people around if we need to do that between projects and that sort of thing. Team leads, be aware of that. Yeah, 8:30 tonight, so we can get going right away.
Yeah, good point. Next one's at 6:30 tomorrow morning.
Well, if we wait till 8:30 a.m., we're way too late. So, we also will have a job board in the command center. So if team leads in between then come in and say, hey, I really need someone that knows how to do this. We put on the job board and try to find that skill. We've even in the past called people outside and did Skype calls to help with certain things and stuff like that. So that's what the job board is. We'll also keep a call me list in there. So if you're leaving and say, I have to go do this, or if you really need this skill, call me back and I'll come back and help you with that. So if any of the volunteers are leaving and want to come back for a particular thing later, that's what the call me list will be for. Reminder that we're closed Saturday night and we'll reopen Sunday morning. Also a reminder of getting in and out. Make sure you bring your badge with you when you come in and out so the security guard can let you in and out. And see if you have any special dietary need. I know some people mentioned it on their application, but remind us who you are so we can find and make sure you get something that you can eat, because providing food for everyone. So, some of the basic lesson learned and rules of GiveCamp. We operate under the Las Vegas rule. What happens at GiveCamp stays at GiveCamp. In that the volunteers volunteered for this weekend. They want to be involved beyond this weekend, that is their choice. But their only commitment is to help this weekend. So don't feel like you're obligated to help past this weekend. If you're willing to help after that, it's great. A lot of times things need a little touch up or need to actually implement it after this weekend, and we usually have 1 or 2 people from every team willing to do that, but you're not required to do that. Volunteering is for this weekend only. As I mentioned earlier, some projects have been wasted in the past because of training. I told you I'd reiterate this, here I am, reiterating. Make sure you do training and, if possible, documentation to provide your nonprofits so that way they can take this and actually use the application later. Another thing to do is, we're running this like a mini project, lots of little mini sprints. Have it deployable early and often. Get something as ready as soon as possible that if the power went out and everyone had to go home today, that they could have something to work with, sort of thing. And there's always some downtime. There's waiting to compile things or whatever, various things. If there's some downtime in your team, check around just in your room, say, can you help me with this or whatever sort of thing. There's always opportunities to help other groups as well. So, we have a lot of volunteers. We have more volunteers signed up than I think we have in the past. We don't have as many projects as we had last year. Part of that is because of this. September 15th was the day we had to pick projects. We had to pick them a little bit early so we can find team leads and then get requirements and do some of the legwork ahead of time. We had 55 volunteers on September 15th. We had 103 by the end of the day today that signed up. So we hope everybody has something
early next year.
Sign up early is one thing, yes. That would help us out in the future. Consider coming to sign up early. The other part of it is, we have some other, if people are bored and don't have things to do, we have some other things that you can do without any problem as well. We will find something for you to do. But we're going to work out the team selection and everybody be on one of these 12 projects to start out with. That's the main goal. So that's the primary goal. That's what we're going to get done on the weekend is these 12 projects. When we have the first team lead stand up, we will talk to the team lead and say, hey, you have too many people, you have more than you can use, or you're going to do whatever. And if that's the case, then we'll shuffle some people around or do some of those other backup projects that we have. So that's the plan for everybody. With that, I'll turn it over to Ryan for the team selection process.
How's everybody doing? Yay! All right. Who can smell the pizza? All right. So the only thing standing between us and eating that pizza is getting team selection. Okay? How many of you have been to GiveCamp before? Just raise your hand. That's probably as high as we've had, about 50%. How many of you were here last year? All right, so you kind of know how this is going to go. This is the second year we've done this. In previous years, as Eric mentioned, we've assigned teams. We've asked you as you signed up, hey, what do you know? Do you know SQL? Do you know C#? Do you know Ruby? Do you know JavaScript? Whatever. We ask all kinds of cool questions about what you might know, and then we make assumptions about how those skills might fit on every team. And we don't want to do that this year. We want to make sure that you guys have a chance to pick the team that you're passionate about being a part of, that you enjoy the nonprofit project and feel passionate about the nonprofit that you're a part of. And so what we're going to do is we've asked all the tech leads, or the lead team leads, to come in and talk to you about what it is they're thinking about building. And it doesn't matter if you know exactly what you're going to build, or if you have a pretty good idea that it might be Django, or it might be Drupal, or WordPress, or something like that. It doesn't really matter as long as you're clear with everybody here about what it is you want to build or need to build. Because based on that, people are going to pick to be on your team. And so I appreciate the team leads coming out and talking about that. Up on the wall are all of the different teams or all the different nonprofits, not-for-profits names. All right? So in a few moments, we're going to take about 10 minutes, and you guys are going to get up and go stand by the team that you think you can be a part of, that you can contribute to. All right? We're going to take about 10 minutes to do that. There are 3 rules to this whole thing. The first rule is there need to be at least 3 people on every project who will be here most of the time. You don't have to be here all day. You don't have to have a camper out back, okay, which we do. We have 3 of right now. Good job, guys. You didn't have to bring a tent, but 3 people on that project who are dedicated to that project need to be willing to stay most of the time, so they have a good steady stream of knowledge going through there. Every tech that they think is going to be involved, if you're building a brand new database for an inventory tracking system, for instance, on MySQL, you should probably have a MySQL backend, right? If you're going to be building an iOS or an Android app, it's probably a good idea to have an iOS or Android dev on the team. Whatever it might be. Make sure you have all the tech at least represented. They don't have to be experts, but they do need to be represented. If we don't have enough of that skill around, for instance, raise your hand if you're a designer, or even feel like you could play the role of a designer. Cool. How many of there? Raise your hands again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7-ish. All right, let's be optimistic and say we have 8. There are more than 8 projects up here. All right, you're going to be busy. So we don't have to, but we at least need to have a good idea that the major ones are there. All right. The last one is everybody that is in this room that wants to be on a project has to leave here on a project. We are not, no one gets to eat pizza until everyone's on a project. All right? Except me, because I'm just going to set you free. Okay. Does that sound good? All right. So here's the deal. We're going to give you about 10 minutes. Walk around, peruse, talk to people, ask people about the projects, mingle, figure out what you got, ask your team.